when you talk about Agile and Scrum, like what I've seen is like there is a lot of confusion on what exactly Agile is, what exactly Scrum is. It's a very naive question that I'm asking right now, but like could you please share some light, like to the audience who wants to understand what actually Agile is and what exactly Scrum is, like how does it work hand in hand, like if you from the expert itself.
So for me, if I tell you what Agile is, say you want to go to the top of Mount Everest, what will you do?
I'll first go to the Lukla airport, then I'll go on to the whatever base camp.
Base camp, then base camp 1, 2, 3, then 4,
yes,
right?
Yeah,
but before that, you have to actually have a mindset that you really want to go that.
Yeah.
Because you need to work on your fitness. It's not like, like we walked almost like 5 floor right now, and we are out of breath.
Yeah, true.
Now think we are, climbing the top of the world, and we don't have any preparation. Then what will happen? We will not make it, and it's dangerous, right? We might die. So if you think that way, you need to have a mindset, and you need to have some sort of preparation to make it happen. So you need to work on your agility, your fitness, your breathing practices, whatever you need. So in software development, we also need that, or anywhere in project management, real life, we need that particular part. We need a mindset to achieve something, and in order to achieve that, we need to actually ensure that yes, we are doing on the right way. So Agile for me is a mindset. It actually tells you what to do. It is a way of work. It's not it's not a set of rules. It's kind of like a philosophy. It's a set, way of work. It's not a framework or something, say, this is exactly what you have to do. Like Scrum is a framework, that's fine, but Agile is not a framework. For me, it's a mindset which tells you what to prefer. Like it's a collection of values and principles. We have 4 values and 12 principles, and it was written mainly for software development. But if you ask me, I feel that essence in my personal life as well. So it's not only software or tech, it's actually everywhere. That you do things little bit at a time. And I give this example to everyone. In our life, we are practicing Agile. In Nepal, Bangladesh, we are practicing Agile from the childhood. Can you guess where?
So we're learning small things every day and going on that.
Like our schooling system.
Yeah.
They don't give us the college certificate or the day one.
Oh, they're just
so they have a year by year progress, right? So we are progressing year by year. Again, when you have a yearly plan, we are not heading to the final exam on the day one. We are learning something new, then we are having the exam. We are this is how we go. So this is actually, we call it iterative and incremental approach. We are iterating the same process every year, new class, the same way. Midterm, you have class test, midterm, then you have finals, then you have a grade, then you move to next class. So it's the same process that we are following iteratively. But you are in grade 1, next year will be in grade 2. So that's incremental. So this is what Agile all about, that we take a different approach than traditionally how we do works. Like we want to do everything together. We take a different approach, do it small at a time and get it done. But I'm not going to the actual Agile thing, the manifesto thing, because that's too technical, too focused on software development. Sure. But I'm just giving you an idea like how we are Agile in our real life. Now, if you want to be Agile, other than your work, like you can be Agile with your personal life, your education, everything. I believe we are in school, we are in college. We face this situation many times. Before the exam night, we are trying to read everything and we don't have enough time. Now, for some people it works. For some people it doesn't.
Works for me.
Yeah. So what if it doesn't work? So why are we taking the pressure at the very end? Why don't we read little by little every day? You don't have to read everything at the day one. Why don't you read little by little every day? And then when the final thing comes up, we already know what you have to study, and we already have gone through that. So we will be well prepared. So in our day-to-day work, it's same thing. We always try to do the things at the very last moment. So Agile is kind of like gives you, if you apply agility in your personal life, you can have a visibility
on what's going on.
Yeah. And that's why I believe in personal agility as well. Like even if you take everything out of your technical jargons, you can still apply agility in your personal life. Like teach your kids, your family can run on Agile. your household can run on Agile, your school can run on Agile, your company, like if you have a non-tech company, like this production company, it can also run in Agile. It doesn't have to be software related or tech related. It's just the mindset. Other hand, if you want something very solid, like, I know it's the mindset, but now how to actually get things done, because when you say mindset, there are thousands of different practice can be applied. So which one we should choose? Then we actually say that, okay, if you are a tech company or if you have some sort of time boxing where you can actually apply time boxing and say that, okay, for 1 week we are working on this. Every weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, we can plan something and work on something. If we have that flexibility, then we always recommend that, okay, let's go with Scrum. So Scrum is a framework. It's not a kind of like a process, because the difference between process and framework is that process is more fixed. Like you have to do this, do that, you cannot skip a certain step. But for framework, it has some flexibility. Like you can always switch things around. Like you choose the practice. Within the framework guideline, you can choose the practice, what you want to do. So Scrum is one of the most popular framework, mainly used for software development, but it can be used in any project, if you have the right set of team. The only core thing we need to ensure that we have a cross-functional team. Like we have all the people that we need to build the project or the product in a part of the team. Like if you're a software company, you have a engineering team, like who's focusing, like the developers in a Scrum team, quality assurance engineer in another team, designer in another team, then it's not the cross-functional team. So we need to build cross-functional team, and that makes Scrum work better. So right now in the world, Scrum is the most popular one, and that's why people are kind of like crazy for the Scrum certification. And the certification is popular as well. So, people are more interested in getting certification than learning it.
Yeah, true. And also I see that tendency of like trying to be 100% Scrum compliant, like trying to implement each and everything on that's written in Scrum and like the framework says. But do you really think it's like really possible to do that?
Now, there are some rules. For example, we have 3 accountabilities. We have 3 artifacts and 5 events or rituals. You cannot play with those. Those are fixed. Now, say previously, Scrum Guide used to be prescriptive. They used to tell you everything, like, okay, in the daily stand-up, you have to ask 3 questions, what you did last 24 hours before this meeting, what you are planning to do till the next meeting, and is there any problem? So that was kind of like prescription. They are telling us what to do. The current Scrum Guide actually took that out. They said that, okay, daily Scrum meeting will be 15 minutes meeting where team will discuss. Now, how to do the discussion is up to the team. Now, whether you want to have a discussion, sitting, having coffee, or standing, is up to you.
According to the team.
So that's actually what the current Scrum Guide says. So it removed all those prescription and tried to be generalized. Now, the question is that, can I omit something? Say I'm a Scrum team. Now, I do not want to do the, say, retrospective. That's not allowed.
Okay.
You have to do that. Now, should I do it, say, for 4 hours? That's the, for retrospective, it's actually 3 hours for 1 month. So you decide how much you want to do. It's a 30-minute retrospective, fine. You don't have to do it for 3 hours. It's completely up to the team. And it's more of like a guidebook right now for Scrum Guide. It's like there are some rules, there are some practices that we follow, but how to play the game. Like it's a football game, like you are a coach, whether you are playing 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 or 4-1-2-1 is completely up to the coach. It's up to the team how they decide to play it. But there are some rules. There cannot be more than 11 players. So these are the rules you have to follow, like 3 accountabilities: product owner, Scrum Master, developers. We have 5 events, daily Scrum. We have sprint planning, review and retrospective, and we have the artifacts like product backlog, sprint backlog, and the increment. So as long as you maintain this, I think you are fine.
So as you said, like there are some sets of rules that you can omit, but you still have some flexibility that play around according to your team type and like what the project is around.
True. Like for example, for me, I always prefer 2-week long sprint. Below that, I feel uncomfortable. That's been the case for me for last 12-13 years. But I've seen many teams prefer 4 weeks long sprint or 1 week long sprint. So it's up to them. For me, 4 weeks is actually too much. It gives you kind of like waterfall thing. Things actually happen at the very end. So it's up to the team.
So 4 weeks sprint is like waterfall in chunks.
Yeah. And that's actually what people do. People think like they're doing agile, but actually they're doing mini waterfall. We call it like waterfall in smaller chunk. That's not going to help.
Yeah. So it's we are going back to the same thing that actually wanted to be needs to be removed to be Agile.
True.